There may be times when you wish to use a weighted gradebook in your course. The instructions here will show you how to set the features in Sakai for proper weighting. Be sure to let your students know that in a weighted gradebook, all points are not equal. For example, earning 10 points in a category that represents 15% of the overall grade will not be the same as earning 10 points in a category that represents 50% of the overall grade. Let's get started by selecting Gradebook Settings under the Edit tab here. And then we're going to select under the Organize Gradebook tab, we're going to select Weighted Categories. You need to leave the grade using at points, and then as always, course grades and released items should be checked. We'll click the Save button. All right, here you're going to see the message, this gradebook is not correctly weighted. You'll continue to see this message until everything is set properly, where your gradebook equals 100% and each category aligns. So we'll get started by adding our first category. We'll select File, New Category. We'll give it a name. And we need to decide what percentage of the overall grade this category represents. For now, we're going to say 25%. Your choice here is to either weight everything in the category equally, which means if you have 3 items, each item is a third of the category, or you can choose to weight by points, so that the weighting is determined by the total number of points within the category. I'm going to demonstrate changing this, and we're going to leave it weight items by point. So we'll say Add. Okay, so we see category 1 is 25%. Right now, there's nothing in that category. So we can start to build the items in this category. We can go in, we can add a new item. We'll call this Assignment 1. And we're going to say that it's part of category 1. How many points is this assignment worth? We're going to say this one is worth 15 points. We'll ignore the due date. We'll select Include in Grade, Release Scores, and select Add. Once you do this, you'll see we have one assignment. It's worth 25% of the grade, but we're still seeing it's not correctly weighted because we haven't hit 100% here. I'm going to expand this screen a little bit so that we can see the point value. So let's add another assignment, new item, and we're going to say Assignment 2. The same, it will land in category 1. We're going to give this one 25 points. Release Scores and select Add. All right, now here's where you see the shift. Assignment 1 is only 37.5% of the category because it's 15 points. Assignment 2 is worth 62% because it's worth 25 points. If we were to change the setting in the category level, if we said let's, instead of weighting it by points, let's weight everything equally, now you'll see that both assignments are still here. They are worth 50% each of the category regardless of the overall points. So the choice is yours as to how you want to weight everything within the category. I think it's simpler to leave everything weighted the same, but it's your option. Let's go in and let's add another new category. And we're going to call this category 2. What percentage of the grade? We're going to make this one 50%. We want to weight the items equally here. Add. Okay, so now you can see we're up to 75%. We have category 1 at 25, category 2 at 50. Let's add an item here, and we're going to say Assignment 3, category 2. We're going to give it 25 points and say Release Scores and Add. All right, right now there's only one assignment, so it's 100% of the category. We add another assignment, 4, category 2, and we give it 25 points, release scores. All right, now again, just like above, 50% of the category is assignment 3, 50% is assignment 4. In this case, both of them have the same points. Okay, so we're still not totally done because we're still at 75%. So we're going to add one more category, and we're going to call this tests and quizzes. All right, we're going to weight items by points here. So we're going to add. All right. Now we need to add our items, so we'll say we're going to have exam 1. Tests and quizzes is the category, and this one's going to be worth 50 points. Release scores and add. All right. We are going to add another item. Final. Tests and quizzes. Release scores and add. Okay, so now we have within the tests and quizzes, we've got one exam worth 1/3 and another one worth 2/3 based on the overall point spread. So right now we have 25, 50. Do you see here where I didn't set a percentage for the tests and quizzes? If you see a 0 here, we need to go in and edit that. Percentage of grade, it should have been 25, so I'm going to change that. All right, so this is what your grade book should look like if it's set properly. At the highest level, it's 100% of 100%. Each category adds up to that 100%, and then within each category, the items represent 100% of the category. If this is the right distribution, then your grade book is set and you're ready to go. One thing I really want to caution you with here is be careful about moving assignments within categories. Double check everything before you start posting assignments or start grading them, because moving things in categories and changing points may or may not have a tremendous impact on your students' overall grades. If you want to see what the gradebook looks like in this format to your student, go back to the level, click on a student's name, and say View as Student. Right now, there are no points given, nothing's been graded. A student will only see this data. I can go back, I can pick an item, I can go ahead by student and I'll put some points in. You'll see a notice here if you put points in that are too high. So we'll go back. This tells you what your total values can be. If I click here, we'll say 20. Exam 1, we'll say 45, and the final 56. And then if I say View as Student, now you can see the course grade shows up here, the calculated grade is here. The student can scroll through here and see what points they earn plus the weighting. If you can see all of this once you've got your gradebook set up, then you're good to go.